So I've been posting about asking for questions or topics y'all want me to talk about with me reintroducing my blog / YouTube channel. And at first I really didn't want to post a video until I was, glammed up, but then I thought it over and I felt like what better way to reintroduce myself, my blog, the things I go through, than to reintroduce it in the raw. So for all who don't know, my name is Sai, short for Saida. Not really going to go into my illness because I have a few videos on my channel already that goes deep into what is sickle cell, what I go through, how I get through. I am going to go into a little bit about what's going on this day because it's different from my other videos. I'm going to get into questions that people have been asking me. Try not to answer the same things over and over again. I'm going to get a little bit into about what has happened in my life between my last videos, which was roughly about maybe 2 years ago, and today. I just want to get back into doing things that I started because I tend to start a lot of things and not finish, or I tend to start 3 things at a time and focus on one more than the other. But this is a way for me to get out my creative side, my thoughts, things that's jumbled up in my head, my ideas. So I wanted to do my first video back from a hospital bed. I mean, this is where I am at right now, especially in my life. So before I get into answering the questions and things, I do just want to get into starting off where I left off. And the last time I made a video was right before I had my baby girl. So for y'all who don't know, I do have a 1-year-old daughter. She's actually about to be 15 months. I know a lot of people be like, 15 months, 17 months, just say she's 1. Yes, she's 1, but she's a little bit older than 1, not quite yet 2. I am going to post some pictures of her and videos, not too many, because also, if you didn't know, I've been going through some things with people stealing her pictures and things. That is another YouTube story or, blog topic. But I am going to show y'all my princess, and we're going to get into all things that, and then I'm going to answer these questions for y'all. Alright, so that was a few quick pictures of my princess. So I want to get into just a little bit of why I am in here now, and then we're going to jump into these questions. So again, for those of you who don't know, I have sickle cell disease. I get blood transfusions, specifically exchange transfusions, basically where they take my red blood cells out that are sickled. And when I say sickle, I mean in the shape of a C. They hard and they die off, and they are replaced with healthy red blood cells that are circled like a donut and squishy and can move through the body and the veins easily. During the midst of these blood transfusions, a side effect is that your body can treat it as foreign and attack it. And in the last month or 2, that's what my body has been doing. So my levels have been going from, if you're a male, your hemoglobin should be about a 13.5. You're a female, your hemoglobin should be about a 12. I've been dealing with my hemoglobin dropping down into the 5s, the 6s, and when I came to the ER this time, which was Friday, my daughter gave me a little cold, and I wasn't getting over it at home. So normally, if I'm going through a crisis or something and I can't quite get it together at home, I'll come into the ER to get treatment, which is basically 3 doses of medicine through the IV to help me get a jump start on my pain. And then I'll finish out maybe, the next couple days or the next week with my at-home regimen. So that's what I came to do. But just with normal protocol of, checking my blood level, checking my urine, just making sure that it's nothing bigger than a crisis. They found out that my blood level was actually a 4.4, which is dangerous. Before this, I've been dealing with them trying to keep my levels up. I have developed antibodies towards the blood, so they've just been trying to kind of like a as they go thing, try to figure out things to help me get my hemoglobin up. Now, it's hard to get it up once it's down without blood, because as you can imagine, I can't get blood because with them giving me blood, it's just speeding up the process of my body destroying the blood, because my body is now seeing this donated blood as foreign. So I've been here since Friday, trying to go about other ways of getting my hemoglobin up other than using the blood. I'm not like totally exempt from blood, but it's only in like a dire need, like, you know, like matter where my hemoglobin dropped down, you know, I'm in the tubes now and I have no choice but to work around the antibodies and get this blood in here to get my levels up. So far, it hasn't dropped, but it hasn't really increased that much. So I've been on steroids. I've been on this type of infusion that lasts over 2 days, and hopefully in a couple days, when they go recheck my levels and stuff, I'll be better. Better enough to get out of here, because as you can imagine, I want to get out of here, but I want to be able to do it safely, and they're not going to let me out of here unless I am, you know, released safely, which I do understand. So normally when I'm in a hospital and I'm in predicaments and stuff like that, it's normally when a lot of my creativeness come out, or not even really a lot of my creativeness come out, is when I have the most time to sit and think and put things together. So I want to hop back on my blogging, and I don't only want to do it when I'm in the hospital. Like, I want y'all to see that, like, yes, I have sickle cell, yes, I have an illness, but I very much live a normal life, as normal as I possibly can. You know, I go to work, I have a job, I have a home, I have a car, I have a daughter, you know, and I try to do things normal and, you know, regular as possible, just like you. It's not about me being sick 24/7, and, you know, when you get into it with somebody, the first thing they say is, oh, you sick, and yeah, but I'm not sick 24/7. I live a very normal life, and I may even live more normal than you. So that's why I wanted to do the vlog, and that's why I wanted to do the YouTube channel, so y'all can see, you know, into my life, you know, what I do. And I'm not saying I'm like the most, oh my God, you're so exciting, and, you know, the most popular, but I'm not just sick all day, laying around, you know, in and out of the hospital. Like, if I could record and show you all that, I come in contact with so many nurses and doctors who do not know me. And I've been at this hospital since I was about 24. And they have never met me. And I'm not a familiar face to them. And I just don't come to the hospital over and over and over again. Like, hospital, if you know me, it's my last resort. Because it takes a lot to recover. And like I said, I try to live as normal as possible, and I can't do that if I'm constantly recovering from the narcotics, the drugs, the IVs, you know, just the being down. So, now that we got into where I'm actually into this hospital, I am going to get into answering a few of your questions that you had for me. Actually, believe it or not, balance is one of the hardest things that I actually deal with on a daily basis. Only because my mind is constantly going a mile a minute. Like, I talked about this in my old videos, that, you know, I constantly feel like I have to prove myself and my health. to outsiders. You know, I have to prove that I'm just not this sick soul, you know, that just sit around all day and just be sick and I'm waiting to die. I'm not. I have so many, like, thoughts and so many, like, plans. Sorry, I thought I was somebody talking. I have so many thoughts and so many plans and so many ideas that I want to get out of there. So, my main things that I have to balance is my daughter, my job, and then my home, which include my car and my bills, you know, things like that. For the most part, I have a routine with my daughter, from, you know, being in bed by 8, try to be asleep by 9. I get up, I go to work, I'm off by 12:30. And from 12:30 until, you know, 8, bedtime again, it's whatever I could cram in between. And I say that that's hard. Some people might say, okay, you got 8 hours. But it's hard because some days, you know, I might come home and need a nap. I come home, my daughter definitely needs a nap. I might have mapped out what I want to do for the day, but if I'm exhausted, I might not get to none of them. You know, I might get to one thing. And I'm constantly pushing back, and the pile gets bigger. Eventually I catch up on it. Eventually I tackle it. But I pray a lot. I write everything. I try to write everything down. Like I have, you know, goal boards, and I have tons of books, tons of binders, tons of planners. I never let myself forget that it's things due. I am a very bad procrastinator, but I never let myself forget that even if it's a month old, so you were supposed to do this last month. You know, you were supposed to do this last week. This should be due in the next couple of days. This should be due by the end of the year. Like, I never let myself forget that just because it was a goal on my list that I didn't complete in August does not mean that it's not on my list for October. It's still there. It might take me longer to achieve it or, you know, to accomplish it, but how I balance is that I never let myself forget that you have this stuff on your weight, you know. On your balance beam, this is something that's in there. On your reminder list, this is something that's on there. You know, on your goals, this is something you never achieved. This is something that you didn't, you know, accomplish. And I think doing that, having a constant reminder of the things that I want to achieve and that I still haven't achieved, finding me time, finding time spent with my daughter, finding that time between, you know, work, lunch, dinner, and bed. Like I said, it's hard, but I find it. Like I said, it's not every day. You know, I'm not constantly balancing, and I'm not constantly, you know, on point, and I'm not constantly like yesterday I checked off 20 things. It's some days for a week I might check off one thing. It's some things for a week I might check off the same thing in 3 different breakdowns, you know. But I try not to get overwhelmed. Like, I try not to fall under or, you know, let my goals or my achievements drown me out. Like, as I was just talking about, I'm actually not going to try to give myself any new goals after the pandemic over. I'm going to try to achieve the goals that I had before the pandemic started, many of which was working on my credit, I'm still building my credit because I want to buy my daughter a house. Now, the ultimate goal has not changed, but the way I achieved it has, because now I'm thinking about moving out of state. And if I want to move out of state, I have to now think about our child care, like who she's going to be with while I'm at work, who am I willing to trust to watch her, which means that now I may have to push it back a few years until she's in school, and she could go to school and go to the after school program. Because as of now, my daughter's watched by family members. I'm not going to say they, because I am included in it with having them go to daycare and things before they can talk, before, you know, they can come home and say, mommy, she did this, or mommy, he did that. And I only said, like, I'm not going to not put myself in it because I am against that, but every day, I'm trying to be more open to that in case I have to put my daughter in daycare, because she's only 1. You never know what's going to happen between 1 and 3 where she can go to pre-K. So I don't want it to get down to the last, you know, minute, second where I have to put her in there and I'm having anxiety, and so I'm trying to work on it day by day. So yes, I am against it, but I am becoming more comfortable with it, whereas though, you know, my mom, my sister, my siblings are like, no. They actually didn't put their kids in any kind of daycare until pre-K at 3, and we are very big on teaching our children at home and very big on working with them, you know, with their schoolwork and learning at home. So they are going to school, and they are going to school very smart, very, very advanced, you know, more advanced than their peers. But so the goal is still to buy a house. Now, is it still to buy a house 2020, 2021? Or is it going to be to buy a house 2023? I haven't figured that out yet, because I was leaning towards a good suburb outside of Philadelphia, a good borough outside of Philadelphia, and I have found some. But my ultimate, you know, retirement home, or the home that I leave my daughter, I want it to be built from the ground up. And I know that's more popular in Delaware, where I wanted to get it done at, than it is around these parts. And it's going to be a hassle for me to come from Delaware, depending on my shift, drop her off to a family member in Philadelphia, go to work, pick her up, drive home, do the routine all over again. I'm not saying it's impossible, because nothing is impossible, but it's something I have to think about. Another one of my goals that I checked off my list was to get my braces. Got that done. To finish my book. Now, I want my book to be finished by 2020. I do. But that's not really something that I have to wait till the pandemic is over to do. I can finish my book. Now, maybe a book release, you know, event may be something that I have to do after the pandemic is over. If you didn't know, I consider it like one baby, but it is separate. I have a few businesses where I sell lashes, and then I sell accessories. And then I just launched an accessory line for my daughter. I'll make sure I'll tag, you know, and show all of that in here. And I go through this phase where I relaunch every so often. Only because with being sick, with being a new mom, you know, readjusting to motherhood and new things, I slack. I could be the first to say that I could have made way more money this year off my businesses if I was more consistent. And I wasn't consistent. Whenever I felt like getting in the mood, I would go, I would promote, I would go hard, I would get new items, I would sell out, and then I'd be like, But I'm really focusing on getting stronger in that department, with staying consistent all year round. You know, staying consistent all the time, and not just sometimes when I feel like it. What else is on my list? My savings. Again, I don't need that to be done after the pandemic, you know, to learn and tricks and trades and stuff to saving and trying to bring in more income, and trying to have like a separate emergency account, because it's good to have more than one emergency account. And some people can maybe say, oh, that's common sense, and some people, but it's not, because when you have an emergency account, you're not thinking of multiple emergency accounts. You're just thinking about that account that you can go into whenever you need something. But to be honest, you need another account separate from that, because as you can see with this pandemic, I don't know about y'all, but I have had multiple emergencies to where as though, my emergency account is damn near depleted. And that's when that gave me a wake-up call to have multiple emergency accounts. Now, granted, my daughter does have a separate savings account from, her savings account and the emergency account, but we need more accounts. Just 2020 alone should tell you need more accounts, and I need to be more. I need to be better with managing my money, so I do need like a financial advisor, and I don't get a whole bunch of money to where as though I need to know how to manage millions. But listen, if I can't manage thousands, I know God not gonna give me millions. So that's another goal that I'm working on. But like specifically to after the pandemic, right now I don't have any. It's just really strictly getting back on path and staying on path with the goals that I had before the pandemic. So hopefully in the next few months, you'll be invited to a book release. Excuse me, orange. You'll purchase from me. You'll follow my revamp pages. I'll list them. You'll get into my accessories. You'll get into Cam's brand. You'll get to meet my daughter more. You'll have a better look into my life as I begin to open up more about all things Sai. I hope you enjoyed this little one-on-one. And it wasn't nothing too crazy. Just a one-on-one with Sai. Hopefully my next video will be with my baby girl. If you have any things you interested in me, you want me to talk about, you want me to focus on, DM me, leave comments below here, message me. I'm gonna post everything from my social media pages, to my Facebook page, to my business pages, and any way you want to get in contact with me, make sure you use any of those forms to get in contact with me, and I'll be gladly to focus on what it is that you want me to talk about and try to come up with more creative, titles and blogs and things to talk about on a daily basis. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Continue to pray for me. Hopefully I'm out of here soon and I could be making a video of me giving this place the boot.